Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am reading a novel and novel of the title Alice Adventure in Wonderland. And then chapter 1, Down the Rabbit Hole. Alice was beginning to get very tired of sitting by her sister on the bank and of having nothing to do. Once or twice she had peeped into the book her sister was reading, but it had no picture or conversation with it. And what is the use of a book, thought Alice, without picture or conversation? So he, so she was considering in her own mind as well as she could, for the hot day made her feel very sleepy and stupid, whether the pleasure of making a daisy cane would be worth the trouble of getting up and picking the daisies when suddenly a white rabbit with pink eggs ran close by her. There was nothing so very remarkable in that, nor did Alice think it so very much out of the way to hear the rabbit say to itself, "Dear, oh dear, I shall be too late." She, when she talked it over afterward, it occurred to her that she ought to have wondered and this, but at the time it all seemed quite natural. But when the rabbit actually uh, looked a watch out of in white skull pocket and looked at it and then hurry on, Alice started to her feet, for it flashed across her mind that she had never before seen a rabbit with either a white coat pocket or a watch to take uh, out of it, and burning with curiosity, she ran across the field after it and was just in time to see it pop down a large rabbit hole under the hedge. In another moment, Dawn when I was after it, never once considering how in the world he was to get out again. The rabbit hole went straight on like a tune for some way, and then dipped suddenly down so suddenly that Alice had not a moment to think about stopping herself before she found herself falling down what seemed to be a very deep well. Either what well was very deep or she fell very slowly, for she had plenty of time as she went down to look about her and to wonder what was going to happen next. First, she tried to look down and make out what she was coming to, but it was too dark to see anything. Then she looked at the sides of the well and noticed that very were filled with cupboards and bookshelves here and there. She saw maps and pictures hung up on pegs. She took down a jar from one of the shelves as she passed. It was labeled orange marmalade, but to her great disappointment, it was empty. She did not like to drop the jar for fear of killing somebody underneath, so managed to put it into one of the cupboards and see how past it. Well, so Alice chose herself after such a fall as this, so think nothing of tumbling downstairs. Oh, brave there, outing me at home. Why I wouldn't say anything about it even if I fell off the top of this house, which was very likely true. Don't, don't, would the fall never come to an end? I wonder how many miles I've fallen by this time. She sighed loud. I must be getting somewhere near the center of the earth. Let me see, that would be 4,000 miles. Don't I think for you see Alice had learned several things of this sort in her lesson in the schoolroom and thought this was not a very good opportunity for showing off her knowledge, as was no one to listen to her still. It was good practice to say it over. Yes, that about the right this time, but then I wonder what latitude or longitude I've got to. Alice had not the slightest idea what latitude was or longitude either, but she thought they were nice grand word to say. Presently, she began again. I wonder if I saw far right through the air. How funny it will seem to come out among the people that walk with their heads downwards. The antipathies, I think. She was rather glad there was no one listening this time, as it didn't sound at all the right word, but I saw have to ask them what the name of the country is, you know. Please, ma'am, is this New Zealand or Australia? And she tired the corset, and she spoke of fancy Corsair up as you flying through the air. Do you think you could manage it? And what in a ignorant little girl, thanked me for asking. No, no, it never do to ask. Perhaps I shall see it written up somewhere. Done. There was nothing else to do, so Ellison began talking again. Dina miss me very much tonight. I should think Dina was the cat. I hope they'll remember her sort of meal at the tea time. Dina, my dear, I wish uh, we're down here with me. There are no mines in the air. I fright, but you might catch a bite, and that's very like a mouse, you know. But the cats eat bats. I wonder, and here Alice began to get rather sleepy and went on saying to herself in a dream sort of way, "Do cats eat bats? Do cats eat bats? And sometimes do bats eat cats?" For you see, as she couldn't answer either question, it didn't much matter which way she put it. She felt the she was dozing off and had just begun to dream that she was walking head in head with, with Dina and was saying to her very earnestly, "No, Dina, tell me the truth. Did you ever eat a bat?" When suddenly stop, 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 stop. Then she come upon a heap of thick and dry leaves, and the fall was over. Alice was not a bit hurt, and she jumped onto her feet in a moment. She looked up, but it was all dark over it. Before her was another long passage, and the white rabbit was still inside, hurrying down it. There was not a moment to be lost away when Alice lighted the wine and was just in time to hear it say as it turned a corner of my ears and watched her. Oh, like it's getting. She was close behind in when she turned the corner, but the rabbit was no longer to be seen. She found herself in a long, low hall which was lit up by a row of lamps hanging from the roof. There were doors around the hall, but they were look, and when Alice had been all the way down one side and up the other, trying every door, she walked sadly down the middle, wondering how she was ever to get out again. Suddenly she came upon a little tree-like table, all made of solid glass. There was nothing on it but a teeny golden key, and Alice's first idea was that this might belong to one of the door of the hall, but alas, either the locks were too large or the key was too small. But any rate, it would not open any of them. However, on the second time round, she came upon a low curtain she had not noticed before, and behind it was a little door about 15 inches high. She tied the little golden cat in the lock, and to her great delight, it fitted. Alice opened the door and found that it led into a small passage, not much large than a rat hole. She knelt down and looked along the passage into the loveliest garden you ever saw. How she longed to get out of that dark hole and wander about among those beds of bright flowers and those awful fountains, but she could not even get her feet through the doorway, and even if my head would go talk for Alice, it would be of very little use without my shoulders. Oh, how I wish I could see shut up like a telescope. I think I could if I only know how to begin. For you see so many out of the way things had happened lately that Alice had begun to think that very few things indeed were really impossible. There seems to be no use in waiting by the little door. She, so she went back to the table, hoping she might find another key on it, or at any rate a book or rules for shutting people up like telescope. This time she found a little bottle on it, which certainly was not here before, said Alice, and teared round the neck of the bottle was a paper label with the words "Drink Me" beautifully printed on it in large letters. It was all very well to say "Drink me," but the wise little Alice was not going to do that. In a hurry, now I'll look first, she said, and see whether it marked poison or not. for she had read several nice little stories about children who had got burned and eaten up by wild beasts and other unpleasant things because they would not remember the simple rules their friends had taught them, such as that red hot poker will burn you if you hold it too long, and that if you eat your finger very deeply with a knife, it usually bleeds, and she had never forget that if you drink much from a bottle marked poison, it is almost certain to disagree with you sooner or later. However, this bottle was not marked poison. So Alice ventured to taste it, and finding it very nice, it had in fact a sort of mixed flavor of cherry tart, sultan, pineapple, roasted kiwi, toffee, and hot butter toast. She very soon finished it off. What a curious feeling, said Alice. I must be shutting up like a telescope, and so it was indeed. She was now only 10 inches high, and her face brightened up. Uh, She was now the right size for going through the little door into that lovely garden. First, however, she waited for a few minutes to see if she was going to serve any further. She felt a little nervous about this, for it might end, said Alice to herself, in my going to altogether like a candle. I wonder what I should be like then, and she tried to fancy what the flame of the candle looks like after the candle is blown out. For she could not remember ever having said such as a thing after a while finding that nothing more happened. She decided on going into the garden. It was but as the poor Alice, when she got to the door, she found she had forgotten the little golden key, and when she went back to the table for it, she found she could not possibly reach it. She could see it quite plainly through the glass, and she tried her best to climb up one of the legs of the table, but it was too slippery, and when she had tired herself out with trying, the poor little thing sat down and cried. Come, there's no use in crying like that, she asked to herself rather softly. I advise you to leave of the minute. She generally gave herself very good advice. Talk she very seldom followed it, and sometimes she pulled that herself so severely as to bring tears into her eyes, and once remembered trying to box her own ears for having cheated herself in a game of croquet. He was playing against herself, for this curious child was very fond of pretending to be to people, but it's no use now to pure Alice who pretend to be to people why there hardly enough of me left to make one respectable person. So her eye fell on little glass box that was lying under the table. She opened it and found in it a very small cake on which the words "Eat me" were beautifully marked in currants. Well, I'll eat said Alice, and if it makes me grow large, I can reach the cave, and if it makes me grow smaller, I can creep under the door so either well I'll get into the garden and I don't care which happens. She added a little bit and said uneasily to herself which way holding her hand on top of her head to feel which way it was growing, and she was quite surprised to find she remained the same size. To be sure, this what generally happens when one is cake, but Alice had got to so much into the way of expecting nothing but out of the way things to happen that it seemed quite dull and stupid for life to get on in the common way. She was set to work and very soon finished off the cake. Today I will summary about chapter 1. Alice is sitting with her sister on the riverbank and is very bored. Suddenly she sees a white rabbit running by her. It is wearing a white coat and takes a watch out of it while muttering her into himself. The rabbit suddenly goes straight down and Alice fell into it. When she turned the corner, the rabbit is gone and Alice finds herself in a long, low hall with doors all around it. She tries them, but they are locked. Then she comes upon a little tree like a table on which a little golden kite lies. When she goes back to tables, she finds a little bottle on it with the word "Drink Me" printed on the table. Alice drinks from it and starts shrinking until she is only 10 inches high. She now has the right size to enter that the door, but she finds that the door is still locked and that she has left and little donkey on the table, which is now too high to reach. She starts crying, but soon sees the little glass boy lying under the table containing a small cake mark with the words "Eat me," hop, hoping that this cake will make her grow or shrink to see it. And the quotation from chapter 1. What is the use of a book talk, Alice, without picture or conversation? Chapter 1, page 1. Okay, I will next chapter 2 in next video. Thank you.